we've got a package, and today it's a pretty heavy one, and that is for a good reason. Inside of this box, we should have a total of 11 iPhones. These iPhones range from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 12, and I managed to get my hands on them for just a mere $150. Now, I did not find these on eBay. A friend of mine found them and went ahead and sent me the link to them as they didn't want them. I ended up buying them the day after they sent me the link, which was about 2 weeks ago as of recording this right now. It took about a week and a half for the package to initially ship, and it's now finally at my doorstep. Now, in all honesty, I'm not sure what could be inside of this box. What's supposed to be in here are 4 iPhone XRs, 3 iPhone 11s, 2 iPhone Xs or XSs, an iPhone 12, and an iPhone 7. The weight on it does make sense, but there's a couple things I'm a little bit confused about with this listing. First of all, the seller doesn't sell iPhones very often. As of right now, they actually don't have any for sale at all, although they have sold quite a few iPhones in the past. This is the iPhone lot that I purchased, but it looks like the exact same lot sold back in May for $100. So I'm not sure exactly what's up with that. I'm not sure if it was sold and then returned. I guess we're gonna find out in just a moment. Also, if worst comes to worst, these iPhones have free returns within 30 days, which is kind of awesome. I doubt I'll have to use that, but it's there in case I change my mind on these iPhones. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get these iPhones open, as I've been waiting way too long for these to show up. Go ahead and open the flaps on the Amazon box. And I'll go ahead and just pull the paper off until I start to uncover iPhones. There we go. I'll go ahead and just move the box to the side, and I'll just pull them out one by one and take a look at each. Start with this one. It looks like an iPhone X or XS. That's the silver one. Here we have the white iPhone XR. There was only one white one in here. Here we have, I believe, the iPhone 7. We have, never mind, I was wrong. This may be the iPhone 7. This right here is an iPhone XR. Here is an iPhone XR or 11. That's an XR. Another XR or 11. This one's an iPhone XR. We have an iPhone 11 here. Another iPhone 11. Another iPhone XR. And finally, a purple iPhone 12. Holy shit. I cannot believe that this is on my desk right now. For $150, I'm really excited to see what inside of here works and what's locked and what isn't, because this might be one of the craziest iPhone lots I think I've ever purchased. So I think the most logical thing to do now is go ahead and start unwrapping each one of these iPhones. I'm just gonna start with this one. Each one that I pull out, I'll just put over to the side. And once they're all unwrapped, I'll actually organize them and take a look at them. First of all, we have an iPhone 11. This one has a cracked back and a very slightly cracked display, as you can see, and the frame is quite beat up. Next, I might as well go ahead and open up the purple 12. As you can see, the back is very severely damaged. The screen is also shattered, and it looks like it's delaminating over here. Yeah, this phone is in overall really horrible shape. And if this phone is locked, then it's most definitely just garbage. But I'm just gonna hope it isn't. Next up, we have another black iPhone. This could be an XR or an 11. Looks like this one is an 11. Here we have an iPhone 11 with a screen protector installed. Upon closer inspection, there are no cracks underneath the screen protector, so this has a good screen. And the back is also in nice shape, so that's a good find. Next, we got an iPhone XR, I believe. Yep, there we go. The back on this one does look pretty good. The front has a couple of cracks, but not too much. And the frame's in pretty decent shape. That's nice. Next up, I believe yet another XR or 11. Here we have another iPhone 11. This one has a shattered back as well as a shattered display. The frame does not look to be bent. It is actually in really nice shape other than the cracks on the top and bottom. Looks like it was crushed under something. I wonder if this screen works. I guess we'll find out. So that's the 3 iPhone 11s included in the lot. I've now got 3 more iPhone XRs to open, 2 iPhone X's or XS's, and a 7. We'll go ahead and unwrap whatever this is right here. Looks like it is another black iPhone XR. This one has a relatively nice condition screen and a cracked back glass. Not bad. Next, we have the white iPhone XR. The frame on this one is shattered on the back. The sides do have some marks and the screen does have some cracks, but not way too bad. Here we have the iPhone 7. This one has a cracked screen. Nothing special about this. I guess we'll find out if it works. Here, finally, we have the last iPhone XR. And go ahead, pull the bubble wrap off. This one right here has a screen protector. It looks like underneath the protector, the screen does have some cracks, but not very many. So if it's been on here since it was new, a couple of cracks with no scratches is totally acceptable over a shattered and beat up screen like the protector. The back of this iPhone is also in pretty nice shape. There are some marks from a case around there and on the back. The sides of the frame are also in decent shape as well. Finally, last but not least, we have the two iPhone X's or XS's. I'm gonna first start off with this one. Here we have an iPhone X with a very nice looking back, a pretty nice looking screen other than some scratches up at the very top. Frame does not look too bad either. Hopefully this one works. And finally, here we have a silver iPhone X or XS. As you can see, this iPhone X, the back glass on this is completely shattered out. The screen has a screen protector on it and does not appear to have any cracks underneath, so that's nice. And here we have it, the lot of 11 iPhones that I got my hands on for only $150. I can't believe that I have to go through testing all these now. So I'm gonna start by going through and seeing if any of these turn on right off the bat. The power button on this iPhone 12 will not press, so that's a great sign. This iPhone 11, no power, 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 nope. And the iPhone 7. Okay, so it looks like everything in the lot is dead. I'm gonna go ahead and plug them all into chargers individually. I'm gonna start with as many as I can. I think I have 4 or 5 chargers, but once I have some iPhones actually charged up, I'll come back.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, so it's now been about 30 minutes. I've now gone ahead and plugged in most of these devices to a charger and charged almost all of them up. These two I have not charged up yet, as the LCD on this iPhone 11 and this XR are severely damaged. They are yet to be charged. This iPhone 11, but I have gone ahead and sorted everything into some different categories, so let's go ahead and take a look. First of all, before I start with those, this iPhone 11 right here with the cracked back and good display for the most part, except for this little crack up here, turns out is open menu and completely working. And by open menu, I don't mean FMI on, I mean FMI off. Now it looks like this phone does have a replaced display. It does look to be an aftermarket, but it is a relatively high quality one. This iPhone 11 is a 64 gigabyte model, as you can see, and it's running iOS 15.6.1, which is kind of exciting. It is also locked to T-Mobile. I'm pretty excited about this, as it is still on iOS 15, and it was one of the first phones I actually charged up, and it happened to be fully working. So this one's exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and get it reset, as it still has a bunch of the previous owner's stuff on here. There we go, it's now resetting. But now let's take a look at the groups of iPhones that we've got. So this iPhone 12 has a stuck power button. It does not click, and the screen has something weird going on over here by the power button. When I plug it into a charger, the Apple logo lights up and stays pretty normal for a couple seconds. Then it dims and shuts off and repeats and then continues to boot loop. I don't know what's up with this one. I might try leaving it on a charger for a while in a little bit, but I'm just not sure yet. I might want to open it up and make sure there's no water damage before I leave it on the charger for a while. These two iPhones right here showed absolutely no signs of power. I haven't done any further testing, but just plugging into a charger, they do not light up. Now, they haven't been left on the charger for longer than like 1 minute. I will connect them up to a charger again. Now in this pile, we have passcode locked and disabled devices. This iPhone XR is running an older iOS version below iOS 15 and is passcode locked. This iPhone XR is also running an older iOS version below iOS 15 and is also passcode locked. And this iPhone X right here is running some version below iOS 16 and is disabled connect to iTunes. I've not had the chance to check the Find My iPhone status on any of these phones yet. But now finally, we do have two phones that are on the setup screen that I have not yet tested that I'll go ahead and test on camera. I'll first start with this iPhone XR, which appears to be running iOS 16. Let me connect to Wi-Fi. And here we go. Let's find out if this iPhone XR is unlocked or not. I'm never really certain when it comes to finding devices that are on the hello screen in lots. Oftentimes, if they're like that and the seller's already gone through them like they have with these phones, they're typically locked, but I guess we'll see. Oh, okay, looks like this one's unlocked. That's pretty surprising. Let me test Face ID. Looks like Face ID is working totally fine. I'll just set a passcode real quick because it's forcing me to. I'm gonna go ahead and skip my Apple ID. I just want to get the phone set up. I want to see the info about this phone and see what version of iOS it is and the storage. That's really what matters to me. Here we are at the home screen of iOS 16. That's kind of cool. If we go into settings, general, and about, you can see this is on iOS 16.1.2, 64 gigabyte, and is carrier unlocked. That's kind of surprising. That's really nice. Awesome. This will go next to the iPhone 11 that I got set up earlier. Now, before I set this up, I'm going to put these on the charger so that I don't have to wait as long to get them running. These two iPhones are now confirmed. Find my iPhone off. Now, this iPhone X right here, we'll go ahead and see. This one's running iOS 14. That's cool. Let me connect to Wi-Fi. We'll go ahead and see if this iPhone is locked or not. I'm getting my hopes up with it being iOS 14, but I probably shouldn't be. Looks like this one is locked. I'll try with the passcode. What about all zeros? Nope. Damn. All right, well, that's too bad. I probably could iCloud bypass this, you never know, but it does have a pretty good looking screen other than this little OLED dot. So now this one is confirmed, Find My iPhone on. So now what I'm gonna do is wait for the other iPhone 11 and XR with the damaged screens to turn on so I can test if they are Find My iPhone on or not. I'm gonna go ahead and off camera run the IMEI numbers on these three phones and see if they're unlocked or not. Once I have enough free chargers, I'll connect these two up. And I'll come back once I have more info about what phones are actually unlocked.
Many, many minutes later.
Okay, so after a bit more testing, I've determined that the 6 of these iPhones, unfortunately, are Find My iPhone on. So all of these are just good for the parts that they have, which a lot of them have really good parts. These 3 right here have good frames, and quite a few of them have good screens as well. So that's not a huge disappointment, honestly. These 4 right here are Find My iPhone off, this being the iPhone 11 on iOS 15, the XR on iOS 16, the iPhone 7, which as of now shows no power, and the iPhone X that is running some older version of iOS, which is kind of exciting. I'm excited to get this one running and see what version it's on. But now I have one last iPhone, and that is this iPhone 11 with a smashed screen. Now, this iPhone XR was still charging. When it turned on, the screen was too damaged for me to do anything, and it was on a disabled screen, so I just ran the IMEI number, and it came back as Find My iPhone on. This iPhone 11 right here I have not tested yet, but I'm going to go ahead and do so now. United States. It seems the touchscreen does work pretty much fine, although I can't see half the screen. Let me connect to Wi-Fi. And I'm really hoping that this iPhone is FMI off. You never know, it could be. Oh, nice, it is. That's a pretty good outcome for this lot. Let me see if Face ID still works through this. I have my doubts. Yeah, so I couldn't even see myself in the front camera, so I guess the front camera's dead, and it was telling me to move it closer. So, I don't think Face ID works. I guess we'll find out. I will not be using a passcode since I don't have to. See if I can get through the rest of this setup with the destroyed display. Looks like I was able to. That is very nice. Let's go ahead and find out some more info about this iPhone 11. Looks like we are running iOS 15.4, and it is a 64 gigabyte model with no SIM card restrictions. So this is another 64 gigabyte unlocked iPhone 11. The other one that was on iOS 15 is not unlocked. I'll go ahead and check the battery health, which I have done for these two. This one is, I believe, 92, and that's 83. This one right here, as you can see, is 98%. That is really nice. So judging by the condition of this frame and the phone itself, it looks like it was used for not that long back in 2022. And after it was damaged, it went to e-waste, I assume, as it's got a really good battery health and it's in really nice shape other than being smashed here up at the top. Now, the only phones that I did not actually get to turn on in this lot is this iPhone 7 and this iPhone 11 right here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get either of them to turn on, as I do want to see if the good looking screen on this iPhone 11 actually is good. If so, that would be great because I do have an iPhone 11 that needs a spare screen. This iPhone 11 right here was sent to me by my friend VitalTech. He thought that it had fried the motherboard during a repair. I let it sit for like a month, and then I ended up trying a new screen on here. The screen that I used has a dead touch, but the LCD does work. And it turned out the phone worked just fine, but the screen that he had put on there was completely cooked, causing the phone not to boot, and it would even heat up when on a charger. So if the screen on this one works, then I have another working iPhone 11 that can go up on my eBay. But first of all, I'm gonna go off camera and see if I can get these two working. And then after that, I think I'm gonna move towards getting this iPhone X reset. So for that, I'll need my MacBook Pro and a charger. Now on my MacBook Pro, I've already gone and downloaded SSHRD_script. This allows me to make an SSH RAM disk, which I can load up onto the iPhone and then from there, erase all content and settings. I've gone ahead and made the SSH RAM disk beforehand, so I don't have to do it on video. It'll just save a little bit of time. So now in just a moment, I'm gonna load it up with the reset command, which means that it should go ahead and load up the RAM disk, set the parameter for the phone to automatically reset, and then restart the phone, and the progress bar should show up and the iPhone should erase. And because Find My iPhone is turned off, I should be able to just set it up on whatever iOS version it's running. Now, what's the difference opposed to just restoring it in iTunes? If I were to do that, I would lose the older version that it's running, but if I can preserve it, then I will. So first I'll need to go ahead and put the iPhone X into DFU mode again. Now that the iPhone X is in DFU mode, I can go ahead and run the command. It'll detect the iPhone, try to load up the SSH RAM disk. Looks like this time it unfortunately did not load it. I'll have to try again. Looks like I spoke too soon. It is actually resetting. Anyways, I'll go ahead and put my computer away so we can go ahead and get this iPhone X set up. Looks like we are now on the setup screen of either iOS 11 or 12. Which is kind of surprising. That's not what I was expecting to see. But now we're going to go ahead and swipe up. English, United States. Let me connect to Wi-Fi. Give the phone just a moment to activate. Looks like it is now activated. We'll go ahead and continue. And let me go ahead and test out Face ID real quick. Face ID works perfectly fine. Go ahead and set a random passcode just so I can get through setup. I do not want to have automatic updates. And it looks like this iPhone X is running iOS 12. I was wondering what version it was running, as it did not show the iOS version on the usual quick start page, as that didn't even show up at the beginning of setup, but looks like we are running iOS 12. Go ahead and finish up setup. Here we are on the home screen of iOS 12. Go ahead and check what version it is. Looks like iOS 12.4, iPhone X 64 gigabyte, and I'll have to check if it is carrier locked or not. That's cool. Now I have an iPhone X on iOS 12.4, which is a space gray model, and an iPhone X on iOS 12.4.1. As you can see right here, this one is a silver model. This one unfortunately does have a software bricked baseband. I did that myself. Unfortunately, it's a long story. The baseband on the phone would work just fine if I restored it, but I'm not gonna restore it as I don't think I can go back to iOS 12. I'll find out how to fix this someday, but for now it's just gonna sit. But I'm honestly pretty excited about this iPhone X pull. The battery health on here is 90%, that's pretty good. Hopefully this thing is carrier unlocked or Verizon. That would be awesome, as that is my carrier. But this is definitely an awesome pull. I'll probably end up keeping this for my Apple collection.
Several days later.
All right, so it's now been a couple of days. I've been a bit busy and haven't really had the time to work on this iPhone lot, but I've got the time now, and it's time to get some repairs done. Over the last couple days, I did actually mess around with the phones a little bit. I went ahead and opened up this purple iPhone 12 to confirm whether or not it had water damage. And as you can see, it is literally corroded on the outside. So judging by that, you can probably guess what the inside looked like. There was a severe amount of water damage, and I don't think there's really any hope for this phone. It's Find My iPhone on anyways, so fixing it would really be worthless. So this will likely just get sold off for parts only, as it does not boot and it's stuck in a boot loop. And now for this iPhone 7. This iPhone 7 was among the 5 iPhones from this lot that were Find My iPhone off. But unfortunately, I took this phone apart last night and it does have a pretty severe amount of water damage on the inside. It even had some liquid left on the Taptic engine. Unfortunately, I could not get any power to come out of this device. It doesn't seem to draw any power at all. So unfortunately, this one is dead, and I guess will just be sold for parts only as well. But now for the repairs. This black iPhone XR on iOS 16 is going to need a new housing. These two iPhone XRs both have good housings. This one has the better conditioned back glass, so the housing from this phone will be swapped onto here. Reminder, this was one of the passcode locked and FMI on devices. This iPhone 11 right here running iOS 15 is in desperate need of a new back glass and housing. And this iPhone 11 over here that came in the lot shows no signs of power and is Find My iPhone on, and has a really good condition frame, which makes it a perfect candidate for fixing this phone. The screen on this device does have a little tiny crack up at the top, but other than that, the screen worked perfectly fine, so it won't be replaced. Now the other iPhone 11 on iOS 15 that has the smashed front and back, this one I will be saving for a future repair video, and by future I mean probably in just about a week or so. As I don't have the parts to completely fix this phone during this video, really all I have is the screen from here that could go onto here. So I'd rather save it for a video where I can actually properly fix it instead of just doing a half-assed job. So where's this screen gonna go? Well, that screen is going to go onto this iPhone 11. This iPhone 11 was sent to me by my friend VitalTech. He had attempted to repair it and somehow messed up the screen that was on the phone. He thought the phone was completely dead and sent it to me a couple months back. As you can see, the phone still thinks it's March. I ended up putting a tester screen on, which has no touch, but it does, and discovered that the phone does actually still work perfectly fine. So I will be taking the screen off of this iPhone 11 to put on here and finally give this phone a new life. So I know that's a lot, but what's first? First, I'm gonna work on getting all of the good parts out of this iPhone 11, which means taking it apart, removing the screen, and removing the logic board, battery, and some other components from the frame. Then I'll go ahead and open up this iPhone 11 and do the same thing so I can go ahead and switch the frame over to this one. And once that's finished, we'll work on this. But for now, let's get started with giving this iPhone 11 a new life. I've now finished the first iPhone 11 repair. Unfortunately, in the very beginning, while opening the phone, I did manage to shatter the rest of the screen. As you can see right there, I underestimated how much the screen was bending when I was prying up on it, and it just snapped. The screen does still work perfectly fine, but it is now cracked on the bottom section. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this. There's a good chance that I'll sell it as is. There's also a chance that when I order a new screen for this iPhone 11 to fix in a future video, I may replace this screen as well. I'm not sure. But now this iPhone 11 does have a fresh housing. It looks way better than the one that was previously on it. And now this iPhone 11 is in a much more usable state than it was to begin with. So I'm glad we got this finished. The next thing I need to work on is getting the screen on this iPhone 11 replaced. It has no touch whatsoever. The rest of the phone is all good. I've already tested this screen that I pulled off of the dead iPhone 11, and the screen does work 100% flawlessly. Now, I think I have found out why the iPhone 11 that I used for parts did not turn on, and that's because when I was opening it, the logic board was completely snapped in half. I didn't do this. It was found like this when I opened the phone up. It seems like somebody tried to repair the phone before, somehow pried really, really hard up on the board and snapped it completely in half, and then just put the phone back together, as it didn't seem to be tampered with other than that. Good thing the phone was Find My iPhone on, so not much of a loss here, but this explains a lot. And funnily enough, The battery inside of the phone actually did get charged when I charged the iPhone 11. Of course, this board did not work enough for it to actually light the phone up, but I guess it worked enough to go ahead and charge the battery. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this iPhone 11 open and finally get a screen on here that actually works. And here we are. I've now gotten the second iPhone 11 repair done. This iPhone 11 that I've had sitting around for like 5 months now finally has a screen that works for the first time in forever. Now all I got to do is get the passcode to the phone from my friend VitalTech and then go ahead and get him to remove it from his account, and then this iPhone's all good. And then this iPhone's all good to go. So now we've got 2 good iPhone 11s. This one will be soon. But what's next? Like I said earlier, I've still got this iPhone XR running iOS 16, which currently has a dead battery. But as you saw in the beginning, the phone works perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this back glass replaced with the housing from this iPhone XR, which will essentially be the same process as the housing swap for the iPhone 11. So I'll go ahead and put these 2 to the side so we can get started in giving this iPhone XR a new life as well, because all the phones in this lot deserve one. So I'm almost done with the repair of this last iPhone XR. One slight issue though, in the beginning of the repair, I did unfortunately break the screen that was originally on this phone. Now this screen broke super easily because it was an aftermarket display, as you can see with the stamp. It's a little tiny bit of pressure in the wrong spot and this crack shot up from the bottom. The LCD screen underneath is also broken and the touchscreen no longer works right. If this were an OEM display, this would not have happened. There's always a chance that it could crack when you're trying to remove it like that, but the LCD would not have broken like this. This is unfortunate. I was planning to keep this screen, but it looks like I won't be able to. I will be replacing the screen that was on here with the one from this iPhone XR, as it's just cracked very slightly at the bottom, which is a lot better than the screen that came off that other XR. So I'll go ahead and get the screen taken off of here and put it onto here to go ahead and finish up this iPhone XR repair. Now with the repair of this iPhone XR complete, it now has a fresh housing with no cracks or major marks on the back. The frame's also in really nice shape now. Unfortunately, the screen was replaced with one that does have some cracks. There's also a small line in the LCD, which looks like dead pixels. I am upset about the fact that I managed to break the screen that was connected to this phone. It was an aftermarket display and it broke very easily, and there wasn't really much that I could do to prevent it. The screen on here does work perfectly fine, and it is an OEM display. So I'm glad that this phone is now repaired. In the end, this is it. This is how the $150 mystery iPhone parts lot has turned out. Initially, when I bought these, I assumed that it was just somebody's part slot. They were all actually broken and just for parts. But I'm really glad that things went a different route than that. In the end, we have an iOS 16 iPhone XR, two iOS 15 iPhone 11s. This one right here is going to be saved for an upcoming video. This one is carrier unlocked. It needs a new screen and back, and the Face ID may be damaged, but I'm not sure yet. Expect a repair video on this coming very soon. I also managed to finally fix an iPhone that a friend had sent to me quite a few months back. And I also got an iPhone X running iOS 12. I have just now noticed that this device has a cracked camera lens, but other than that, the device does work great. I'm happy with this pull. It's got a 90% battery health. As you can see, it is locked to the T-Mobile carrier, but I'll see what I can do about getting it unlocked. I'm glad to have found another iOS 12 iPhone X. I actually do have another one. This other one is silver. The battery's currently dead. This one, unfortunately, I did manage to mess up the baseband with the jailbreak. It's a long story. I don't want to go into it. It's something that's very difficult for somebody to accidentally do. It's not like that's something you have to worry about with jailbreaking. But I'm glad to have another one that will essentially replace that one, as that one no longer works the way that I want it to. Now, all 5 of these iPhones are completely working. Well, this one needs some repairs, but other than that, it does work. The rest of these are unfortunately for parts only. This one has a cracked back and a bad screen, and of course is Find My iPhone on. This one has a cracked front and back, but the screen does work just fine. Also Find My iPhone on. This one has a good housing and a screen with no cracks, but the touchscreen does not work. It's not a board problem, that is a screen issue. The phone is also FMI on. This iPhone X is FMI on. It has a relatively good screen, but the back is shattered. I will be taking the screen for a phone that my friend VitalTech will be sending me soon. Same friend who sent me this iPhone 11 here that I fixed and now removed his iCloud from. This iPhone 12 is water damaged with a cracked front and back and is unfortunately Find My iPhone on. And this iPhone 7 is water damaged with a cracked screen, is Find My iPhone off but shows no signs of power. The other iPhone 11 that I had left over from some of the repairs was given to a friend. So now what's next for these phones? This iPhone 11 right here, running iOS 15 with the screen with a few cracks in it, along with this iPhone 11 that I repaired for my friend and this iPhone XR are going to be listed on eBay shortly after this video is up. All 3 of these should be priced pretty fairly. This iPhone X I will be keeping, and this iPhone 11 of course I'm keeping for a video. It may be sold afterwards, but that's to be determined in the video. These 2 iPhone XRs will be listed up on my eBay, along with this iPhone 7, of course for parts only. This iPhone XR may get listed or it may be given to a friend, I'm not sure. This iPhone X I will be using some parts from, and then it may be listed later. And there is a chance that this iPhone 12 will be listed, and there's a chance that it may not, and I may just try to get some parts out of it. Anyways, I'm very pleased with how this $150 mystery lot has gone. This phone lot could have gone completely differently. I had no idea what I was purchasing, and this really all could have turned out to be junk. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed. These iPhone lot videos are some of my favorites to make, and from what I can tell, you guys seem to enjoy them as well. So if you guys are new here, please consider subscribing. As of right now, only 11% of my viewers are actually subscribed. So if you're new, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. It would help me reach my goal of 14,000 subscribers, and it would help me to continue making videos like these. And I can't forget about membership shoutouts. Huge shout out to these 4 members. I'll leave a link down in the description to all 4 of their channels. And if you didn't know, I do have channel memberships. If you're interested in joining, there's a link down in the description. It costs $1.99 a month, and it just helps me to continue making videos like these. If you're still watching, congratulations and thank you. I appreciate it. This is something rare that I don't typically do, but I am advertising a specific sale on my channel for once. This is my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I bought this on launch day when it came out last year because I wanted a bigger device. I quickly learned that the phone was just too heavy for my liking and it's inconvenient using it one-handed, so I've decided to sell it. This device was replaced in February of this year under Apple Care, which it does still have service for another 13 months. It's a 256 gigabyte carrier unlocked natural titanium model. It comes with its original charger and is currently listed for sale on swappa.com. There will be a link down in the description if anyone's interested. I've been trying to get this phone sold for quite a few months and have not had success, so I am continuing to lower the price. If you're interested, check out my listing or send me offers. I am open to them. Anyway, that just about wraps up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And like any other Apple Insight video, peace out, guys.